All right, so what are delegated powers? Explain the three different types of delegated powers, along with examples that we discussed yesterday in class. So, again, we went over three of them then that branch off of this, and then we talked about some examples for each, which, if you need any assistance with it, maybe look at another example. You can look it up, sure, great, or you can go to the presentation, I have them listed there. Whatever you decide to do. You working on this or what, huh? Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, I heard it. I think I know where it came from.
It's away now, away.
Okay, okay. All right, here we go. So delegated powers just means what? Well, what powers are they then? So as we're talking about federalism, federalism is just making sure that the powers are divided up between a national government, state governments, and yes, your local governments, but more just the national state, right? So delegated powers, what powers are they? Olivia? Yes, good job. So they're federal powers or national powers, okay? You got that? Yeah, right. So delegated powers are delegated, given to the national government. All right, so yesterday we talked about three subcategories then of delegated powers. What was the one we talked about? Hey, implied powers? All right, so you're gonna start there. Okay, okay, okay. I kind of wish we would have said that one for last, but it's okay.
Can say another one.
Okay, okay, give me another one.
Elastic falls.
Hold on, no. We'll talk about that today, actually. That's gonna be the focus, okay? So hold on to that one.
Oh, you're missing.
No, that, you don't, you are, go ahead.
Eric.
Okay, inherent powers, good job. So this is given to every sovereign nation, right? Every country around the world. York, excellent. Excellent.
Okay, man.
Excellent. All right, okay. So with inherent powers, this is given to every country where they can do what? What are some examples? What powers fall under inherent powers? Dana?
Acquiring new land.
Yeah, good job, right? So when it comes to maybe expanding territory, acquiring new land, maybe through like imperialism or conquering, who knows, right? Anyway, when it comes to this expansion, that falls under every sovereign nation. Right, I know we talked about some alliance systems that are established to try to keep countries from doing this. Or, I don't know, maybe expanding that alliance system. So Yesterday I mentioned a little bit about how the, NATO, right? This alliance system is held together. So if any rivaling nation comes in, let's say like Russia, they threaten one of these countries involved in NATO. Well, that's not gonna go over too well for them. But the United Nations, another good example, they try to prevent the expansion of these countries and other lands, right? Obviously, there's different forms of influence. When you think about economic influence, when you think about political influence, you name it. Right, what's another example of inherent power?
Controlling immigration.
Yeah, good job. Immigration, big one, right? Obviously, today it's a big topic. Actually, I just saw a poll went out for average Americans. Immigration was like one of the top. Obviously, it's economics and then immigration. So like top concern. Now all of a sudden that's dropping down the list because, well, some of the policies here might drop. A lot of people favor. But when it comes to a lot of the immigration here, who we can maybe close it off to, maybe we're at war with someone, who knows? Or maybe during the COVID pandemic, which we talked about yesterday, they want to restrict people coming into the nation, stop the spread. Right, these are all examples. Right now, Trump, obviously, when it comes to the illegal immigration along the southern border, trying to protect Americans from fentanyl, different terrorist organizations that cause threats to Americans on the southern border and northern border, right? All right, good. Let's talk about another one. What are specifically written in the Constitution? What powers are these? Lydia? Yeah, good job, right? It kind of is a dead giveaway. Express, meaning it's already stated in the Constitution. What's another name for that one? Enumerated powers, right? What's an example of express powers? Olivia, go ahead. Yeah, good. Declaring war. So Congress, right, has that power. It's written in the Constitution, the national government. Good. What else? What else do we say? Another example. All right, perfect. Good job. When it comes to our armed forces, good. And obviously, when it comes to maybe instilling a draft, raise our numbers. What else? Anything else? Coin money, we talked a little bit about that. All right, the list goes on and on. Those are good examples. And then finally here, we got implied powers, right, Caden? What are implied powers? What's it?
Just powers that are not explicitly stated in the US Constitution.
Yeah, good job, right? So they're not stated in the Constitution, but it's implied that the national government has this power. So in other words, this is where that elastic clause comes in. The necessary and proper clause is another name for it, right? And we'll talk about the court case that establishes this today, right? But when it comes down to the national government, not everything has to be specifically stated in that Constitution. Sometimes the national government, their powers stretch past it, right? For instance, right, when it comes to, raising taxes, right, like you say, taxation, right? Obviously, that's an express power. How's the national government going to, let's say, get that tax money? Well, they got to create an agency in order to do so. The IRS. Ooh, the IRS. Which, oh my gosh. Anyway, so with that being said, right, the founders never really talked about this. They never really stated how they're going to achieve this. So it's one of those things where it's like, oh, the national government implies, right, and those powers imply that they have this, so they have to create an agency to do so. When it comes to monitoring online safety, right, the founding fathers, did they have any idea about the internet, social media? No. Right, but obviously that's something the national government can maybe look into, right? Obviously, you want to make sure that people have freedom of speech and post whatever they want to post, but you gotta make sure too it's safe. So those guidelines need to be expressed, stated. All right, so those are the three types we talked about. Those are examples. Hopefully you guys wrote some examples down. You'll see that definitely on the tests moving forward. But again, with federalism, this is like that division of powers. Here's the national governments, right? Today, I want to talk about this court case that established the implied powers, right? That establishes the elastic clause, the necessary and proper clause. So I'm going to give you a few terms. We're going to talk about it a little bit, and I'm going to get you working on the assignment. You should be able to get the assignment done in class. All right, we'll see. I hope so. All right, here are your terms for today. And then we will talk then, guys. We will talk about, oh, hold on one second. Yeah, we'll get to that here soon. We'll talk about reserve powers and concurrent powers more tomorrow. And then listen, Friday, I'm going to have an assignment for you then. Okay. So we got supremacy clause, reserve powers, concurrent powers. Okay, I'll give these terms to you now, and then you'll have them for tomorrow. We can hit the ground running. Obviously, elastic clause. Did I have that one for you yesterday? Oh, perfect. You getting these terms down, Yori? Yeah, let's go. Poor girl's gonna run out of water because of you. Only one sip. That's your second. I just saw it. Yeah, it is. Oh, I interrupted you. Whoa. You hear this? You hear this? You know what's funny? This is gonna be on YouTube now for the next however many years.
Act like you're not gonna edit it out.
I'm not. I don't edit any of this.
So I have to go back to like,
Yeah, no.
so I have to go back to when Faber called you a B word.
Xavier?
Yeah.
Did he say that?
He said,
Oh, yeah, because I like said something. He's like, yo, yeah. And I'm like, what? Yeah, that's right. That's right. I guess you could. I don't know if it picked it up though, because I feel like I just got this mic. I got this mic not too long ago. I don't think I had it when he was. Hmm? I don't know if it can. I guess we'll see. Sometimes. A lot of times from last year, I just look. So like last year, I'll look at the video just to see what I did. It's like, okay, what could I change? What could I do different? And then it's a good kind of like benchmark, I guess, to see what I got to do for this year. What? Can you wait till I sign the assignment and then go? All right. All right. So reserve powers means what? What are reserve powers? What do we got? Olivia, thank you. Yeah, good, good. So in other words, these are state powers. So if you want to put that down by reserve powers, that'd be good. So state powers. An example of this would be like education. And oh wait, we had a sign yesterday, didn't we? What that thing? Man, we'll go over it right after this time. All right, so when it comes to reserve powers and state powers, yesterday we talked about Governor Wallace, right, JFK, and the dispute between the two over education. And that was something, again, when it comes to the powers that be, right? It is a state power, education, but when it comes to discrimination based on race, that's where the national government does step in. So, yeah, that conflict, right, when we talked about it, again, that assignment from yesterday, yeah, we all did. Anyway, that's something again that brings up all the time. When it comes to issuing licenses, right? When it comes to your identification, that's what the state does. And that's a power they do. Marriage licenses, list goes on and on. All right, supremacy clause is what? Katie, what do you have for the supremacy clause? Yeah, good job, right? So supreme law of the land is the Constitution, right? So whenever there's a conflict of a policy between the state and national government, they look at the Constitution as that, right? As that means to what reigns supreme, right? What law of the state might come in conflict with the Constitution? Well, if it does, they look at the Constitution and the U.S. Constitution, and they go from there. So the Constitution is supreme law of the land. All right, concurrent powers. What is that? Concurrent powers. We're talking about government here. Concurrent powers. Gaten, thank you.
Powers shared by the federal and state governments.
Yeah, good job. So when it comes to state and national government, these are shared powers, right? So when Friday comes around, you guys are working on your assignment, it's gonna be a Venn diagram. You're gonna label delegated powers, reserved powers, and then right in the middle, what's shared is the concurrent powers. So a good example would be taxes. No one likes paying them, right? Oh my gosh, but there's a state tax, there is a federal tax, right? So that's something as an example you can write down. All right, real quick. So the assignment from yesterday, hopefully you guys have all that done. All right, the biggest thing here was a few questions based off this interaction with JFK and Governor Wallace back in the 1960s. And this brings up the point of federalism, disputes between the state, national government. All right. How about just to make time a little bit quicker, just submit it, have that turned in. I'm going to grade that here shortly. Real quick, here's your assignment for today. And this is establishing the elastic clause. So McCulloch versus Maryland. Okay, real quick with this assignment. This is detailing about where this necessary and proper clause came from. So the rest of the time's viewers, work on it, get it done. It's pretty simple, pretty easy. And more or less, this is based off the second bank of the national government, right? So the second national bank. And just to give you a little bit of understanding. So as they place this bank in Maryland in its jurisdiction, in the state's jurisdiction, Maryland says, hey, well, now that this is a operation, right, somewhat of a business here, we can tax it. So the state government's going to try to tax the national entity of the national bank. And that's not going to go over well, right? So that's what this assignment is about. I'll just give you that. And more or less when it comes to the elastic clause, implied powers, all right, this is where it stems from. All right, there you go.